One Zambia, One Nation. Warm welcome to Zanis News. I'm your presenter, Sarah Miti. Top stories. Zambia commemorates Remembrance Day. 800,000 United States edible oil plant commissioned. Plus Senior Chief Nkula installed. Zanis News in detail. Zambia today commemorated Remembrance Day in memory of the heroes and heroines who died in the First and Second World Wars. In Lusaka, President Hakainde Hichilema led service chiefs, foreign diplomats, and war veterans, among others, in laying wreaths at the cenotaph. Miles Kabengo now reports.
This is a ceremonial parade displayed to honor the gallant men and women who died during the First and Second World Wars, and President Hakainde Hichilema was at hand in leading the service chiefs, diplomats, and other senior government officials in laying wreaths at the cenotaph. Memorable Order Teens Hearts Moth chairperson Mike Kemba says it is important to remember the whole heroes and heroines due to the sacrifice they made in restoring peace in the world.
Very important, as we said, we're enjoying our peace, our security, because of the people who sacrificed their lives.
In delivering his homily, Zambia Police Service Chaplain Kondwelani Sakala encouraged Zambians to maintain the peace agreements which were signed by the fallen gallant leaders.
Remember and honor the service of our heroes and all those who have died because of war. We should always remember the peace treaty that left the guns. Let that peace agreement continue to be in effect in our regions and our neighborhoods.
The cenotaph is a whole memorial structure erected for peace parade following the end of the First and Second World Wars, and Zambia, being a member of the British colony and now Commonwealth, observes the Remembrance Day. Miles Kabengo for Zanis in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, in Eastern Province, Provincial Minister Peter Mpiri has urged people in the province to preserve the peace and unity the country enjoys in order to help sustain the country's development gains. Mr. Mpiri was speaking in Chipata during the activities to mark Remembrance Day.
This is Heroes and Heroines Remembrance Day, a day that is held to honor or to commemorate the lives of those who sacrificed their lives actually during the First and Second World War. And here in Eastern Province Minister led the delegations from both the security wing and the government officials to lay wreath at the Chipata cenotaph, that is at the High Court. So Mr. Piri knows all too well the importance of this day and event to each and every member of our country.
It is important that we also need to note that the peace that we enjoy also emanates from the heroes that fought hard for us even to get our freedom in 1964. So it is important to our citizens, especially in Zambia, to remember that this is a country, this is Zambia, which is a peace-loving country where we have seen governments going and coming, and we've never seen any kind of war from the time we got our independence. So it is also important to note that, and we should all continue and remember our heroes that perished during that time when they were fighting for our political liberations across the world.
Residents of Eastern Province, or Chipata to be specific, have also joined in the commemoration by remembering and appreciating the essence of this day.
I want to appreciate the gallant men and women who fought for us during the World War I and World War II. They left their families, they gave up everything they were doing, they actually sacrificed their life.
Otherwise, I appreciate for the soldiers who fought for our freedom, and they need to be considered by any means. Otherwise, much appreciated for that.
So Heroes and Heroines Remembrance Day, which is today, is held each and every year on the second Sunday of each November. I am Davison Sakala, reporting for Zanis in Eastern Province, Chipata.
In Central Province, Provincial Minister Princess Kasune says the future of Zambia lies in the hands of young people who should desist from indulging in destructive vices. Speaking after laying wreaths to mark this year's Remembrance Day at the Civic Center, Ms. Kasune expressed gratitude to heroes and heroines of the First and Second World War for the freedom the country and the world continue to enjoy today. Details in the following report.
Remembrance Day is a memorial observed in Commonwealth member states to honor armed force members who died in line of duty during the First and Second World Wars. Central Province Minister Princess Kasune led the security personnel, senior government officials and freedom fighters, among others, in laying wreaths at the Civic Center. Ms. Kasune says the sacrifices of those who died at the battlefront are not in vain.
But even here on earth, there are people who have sacrificed their lives, who we take time to remember, who we take time to say we are grateful. And I think for me the message is more importantly to our young people, to us who are below 50, to say the freedom we enjoy today is not a free freedom. It is a freedom that was purchased by the blood of many men and women, some of them whose names we'll never know, some of them who will never be remembered. But these are the people that we call our heroes and heroines. And there are women alongside them who many times were never mentioned. And so the message is to all young people out there, do not give up, do not get into vices that will destroy your life, especially drugs, alcohol, because this nation is dependent on you.
Meanwhile, Kabwe Zambia Air Force chaplain Jailo Mwale, in his homily, encouraged those who seek power to be mindful of what they say.
To those who may be seeking power and fame, they are encouraged to be conscious on the message they give and the methods they deploy. They are not to incite the global masses at the expense of their negative motives, which may ignite conflict.
The First World War hostilities ended at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. Zanis reports in Kabwe, Central Province.
On the Copperbelt Province, Provincial Minister Elisha Matambo says the province has continued to experience peace, unity, law and order due to the freedom secured by heroes and heroines of the First and Second World War. The minister said this when he led members of the Provincial Joint Operations Committee, government officials and freedom fighters in laying wreaths to commemorate the 105th anniversary of people who perished during the First and Second World War. Details in the following report.
Zambia is one of the countries that witnessed the end of First and Second World War in 1918 and 1945, respectively. To remember the heroes who perished, a ceremonial parade of laying of wreaths is held every year. Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo graced this year's event.
So it's extremely important to us to remember this day, that this is a day when the First World War ended. I can tell you there's peace in Zambia once more, and we'll continue maintaining this peace. And I want to appeal to our citizens of the Copperbelt and the country at large. It's important that we maintain the peace we have. We shouldn't take it for granted. And we should never again allow people to come and divide us.
Zambia National Service chaplain says the heroes need to be remembered as they sacrificed their lives for this nation and continent.
Cause for which these heroes so harshly suffered was never seen, but it is us who stand here today that have enjoyed the results of their suffering. Remembering departed heroes is a source of both pride and motivation. Heroes exemplify cherished
values. They display qualities we admire. Qualities like sacrifice, love, selflessness, genuine courage, and the like.
And 85-year-old Wendy Kruger, who was present during the Second World War, says there is need to educate the children about the importance of this day.
But today in Zambia is the future for our children. You see the soldiers in discipline, everything like this on this wonderful day, that we should teach our young people something special in our lives, that we should reflect in our lives what we should show to our young people.
Nearly 2 million Africans were involved in World War I, and approximately 1 million sub-Saharan Africans fought for their colonial powers in World War II. Nelly Bota reporting for Zanis in Ndola.
Thank you, Nelly, for that report. We take you to Muchinga Province, where Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule has urged the general public to observe Remembrance Day with utmost dignity for the fallen heroes and heroines who fought in the First and Second World Wars. Mr. Mukungule says Remembrance Day should be respected because it is a reminder of the sacrifices made by others in order for people to enjoy peace today. Here's a report.
These are servicemen and women in Chinsali district who slow marched in commemoration of Remembrance Day for the fallen heroes who died while fighting in the First and Second World Wars. As Chinsali district joined the rest of the world in observing this important day, a homily was given by Chaplain Jackson Zulu from Zambia Army on the importance of making a good name before dying.
What comes to your mind when the name Simon Kapwepwe is mentioned, or Mr. Nkumbula? What comes to your mind? The people that have spoken here are all gone, they've died. But they've left a good name because they sacrificed their lives for the betterment of Zambia.
And soon after laying of wreaths, Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule called on the general citizenry to observe the day with dignity.
It is important that the general public knows the importance of this day and that they should also be participating so that we form history of what happened before 24th October 1964. So let them come and celebrate with us. We have to continue all the time honoring them, remembering them for the work that they did.
The commemoration in Chinsali district was attended by service chiefs, heads of government departments, among others. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
In business news, Muchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe has commissioned the first ever edible oil processing plant in Nakonde district in Muchinga Province. The plant that will produce 30 metric tons of pure edible oils per day has been established by the Manyanya Group of companies at a cost of $800,000 United States dollars. Mr. Sikazwe says the edible oil plant is part of the agro-processing industry, which President Hakainde Hichilema has earmarked as one of the economic growth sectors of the country.
The first ever edible oil production plant owned by Manyanya Group of companies has been launched in Nakonde district. Muchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe has commissioned the plant, highlighting that the opening of the oil plant will complement government efforts in agro-processing value addition.
It is always pleasing to see enterprises such as the one we are witnessing here today engaging in value addition and agro-processing activities which do not only contribute to job creation and poverty alleviation in rural areas, but also is in line with our government's diversification on agenda.
And Chief Tennis Waitwika of the Namwanga people applauded the industrious initiative of Manyanya Enterprise.
Eleza akutungirire kuchivuga cyo kino watuletera akutungirira waumba ichete sinyamulenga kuti nawa nawe tunyi watulolechesya wanu wakupitana mu miseo kuti nzanji mwapyela na ntakupyela byenye muho nasalivya.
Meanwhile, one of the employees expressed gratitude for the employment opportunity.
This cooking oil requires us to meet certain standards, so I run those tests. It's been a privilege working here, it being my hometown. There are a lot of things anyone can do here. There's the packaging,
Titani Zolo reporting for Zanis in Nakonde District, Muchinga Province.
In other news, the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, has reintroduced the dog unit to help detect drugs at border points and other entry points. DEC Director General Nelson Banda says the reopening of the canine unit at Chirundu One-Stop Border Post and other selected entry points in Zambia is meant to enhance the Commission's commitment in safeguarding the country's borders. The DEC Director General was speaking when he reopened the canine unit at the Chirundu One-Stop Border Post that is meant to enhance detection of illicit drugs among travelers entering and leaving Zambia. Mr. Banda says Zambia is grappling with a serious drug problem which, if left unchecked, has the potential of affecting both the security and health of Zambians. He said there's a need to curb the trafficking of illicit drugs such as heroin, cocaine and cannabis that comes into the country through porous borders. Mr. Banda explained that through using the canine units, the Commission has scored successes such as the seizures of illicit drugs at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport and Mwami One-Stop Border Post in Eastern Province recently. Earlier, Drug Enforcement Commission DEC Canine Unit Officer in Charge, Maureen Chisenga, said the reopening of the units in selected borders will reinforce effective border controls to uncover concealed contraband by smugglers who use unconventional and cunning attempts to smuggle illicit drugs and other substances into the country. Still in Southern Province, Monzi Central Member of Parliament Jack Mwimbu has handed over checks worth 1.8 million kwacha to 72 cooperatives in the constituency. Speaking during the handover, Mr. Mwimbu says government is determined to improve people's lives through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, and urge recipients to put the money to good use. Here's a report.
Tuyanda kuti kusiyosikira mu 2026 Ivan tubanji gabatyani kababwizedekale mali ibumi bwesu kabujinchile
Komba no Monze Central Parliamentary Constituency amube bantu baya kubereha chimwapegwa butajihumo ingamugwahe
Twarumba neza balelege abo batupa mali wina twali weya kutinga topegwa malala pe mubumi bwesu twali kusumala twali weya uti baratujenga ani tabatujengere twarumba hulumende ende tulono New Dawn.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mwimbu, who is also Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister, says government would tar 10 kilometers of township roads.
Twatariga kubamba road oyuya unamwala unamusonde aliani zaniko omuno mumonze turabikambi matala asiga 10 kilometers omuno mutamu.
Frederick Macha for Zanis News in Monze District, Southern Province.
In Central Province, Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe has advised the Police Command at Kawe Central Police to apply to this Constituency Development Fund CDF committee and build secured police cells following the escape of 17 suspects last Sunday. Mr. Mwanakampwe, who inspected the holding cells where the 17 are reported to have cut metal bars to escape, stressed the need to secure the cells and install proper lighting system to monitor the surrounding of the holding cells. Welcome back, and this time we take you to Western Province, where Nalolo District Commissioner Namatama Mupo has called on the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP beneficiaries to use the inputs for the intended purpose in order to increase maize production in the district. Speaking during the flag-off of the input distribution for the 2023-2024 farming season, Ms. Mupo disclosed that monitoring of beneficiaries' fields will commence next week to ensure that the inputs are put to good use. More in the following report by Sifue Mwangala.
Nalolo District has flagged off the distribution of Farming Input Support Program, FISIP, for 2023-2024 farming season. District Commissioner Namatama Mopo calls on benefiting farmers to use the inputs for intended purpose as she graced the event at the shed in Moyo area.
We have also encouraged our farmers not to sell the inputs that they are receiving, because we need to increase on our staple food going forward. This time around, I'm sure, with the the roadblocks that we have now because of anthrax. These will help us also to monitor those who are taking the fertilizers elsewhere for sale. These inputs are not for sale, but they are meant to improve our livelihoods. Starting next week, we have selected 7 farmers who are going to start planting tomorrow, and next week we are on their farms to make sure we check that these inputs that they are getting today are put to good use.
Nalola District Agriculture Coordinator Boyd Mutengo discloses the inputs that each beneficiary will receive.
There were a lot of vices last year, whereby we saw them filming videos on social media that farmers are given as of inputs, more especially on fertilizer. So as government, we want to put it in black and white that our pack for our farmers this year is 3 by 50 kgs of G compound, which is Beso, and also 3 by 50 kgs of urea, which is top dressing. Then we're also giving them a 10 kg of maize, a 10 kg of sorghum, as well as a 12.5 kg of rice.
The farmers are grateful to the government for the timely delivery of the inputs.
I want to thank the New Dawn government for delivering these farming inputs in time. This is going to encourage our farmers to work even extra hard so that we produce more food. And we urge you, the New Dawn government, not to get tired. You should continue with this gesture so that we have more food on our table.
500 farmers are expected to benefit from the farming inputs. Sifwe Mwangala, Zanis, in Nalolo District, Western Province.
In health news, Ndola Teaching Hospital has received a donation of medical equipment for the theater that will improve service delivery to the patients. Copperbelt Province Health Director Charles Mwinuna has commended the 24th Chinese medical team for complementing government efforts through the donation in the health sector. We have details in the following report.
A team of medical personnel from China have donated medical equipment for the theater with over 400,000 kwacha at Ndola Teaching Hospital on the Copperbelt Province.
Improve the Chinese and Zambia, the friendship. We know a lot of companies here, a lot of Chinese to work here. So Copperbelt Province is for Chinese, for me, for us, have a different meaning.
Copperbelt Province Health Director noted that the medical equipment will improve service delivery at the facility.
The components of our system strengthening is obviously infrastructure, equipment, and anything else that would help us manage our hospitals properly. So when we heard through Dr. Banda that you are donating equipment for theatre, I think we were excited and we wanted to be part of this donation. And today you've come, so thank you to the 24th Chinese medical team that has come and giving us this support. So we appreciate that because we know it will help us manage our patients in a quality environment and also provide better health outcomes.
And Ndola District Commissioner Joseph Phiri has called for continued support.
The government alone cannot manage everything. So your coming on board must be appreciated, and we encourage you that this should not be the first and last, but you can continue. I'm very happy that among all other hospitals, Ndola has not been exempted. You thought of Ndola.
The donation is a sign of the good relationship that Zambia and China enjoy, and it will go a long way. Mary Chola for Zanis in Ndola.
Still in health news, the Zambia Operating Theatre Nursing Interest Group, Zotning, says it is working round the clock to promote high levels of performance and service delivery among operating theatre nursing personnel in the country. Zotning interim chairperson Lillian Mwape said her organization intends to pursue the highest levels of operating theatre nursing excellence through the development of human resource literature, standards, and ethics in order to increase quality, efficient peri-nursing care. Ms. Mwape was speaking during the first ever scientific conference and elective annual general meeting in Lusaka. She said the organization is using the conference to educate and update all operating theater nurses with new development in operating theater techniques. And speaking at the same event, University of Zambia School of Nursing lecturer Martha Mwelwa said the organization, which was formed in 2002, is aimed at promoting high professional experience for its members.
The function of voting is to promote high professional ideals among members by taking steps necessary from time to time to further knowledge, education, and experience of members. Also to initiate the formation of voting branches or groups in places where the operating theater nurses are working. We also want to assist, or the function is to assist members in promoting and improving the perioperative care to patients. Also, to assist in promoting and improving the skills in operating theater techniques, management and leadership, clinical practice and research.
Supported you through your daily subsistence allowances, transport, and other logistics that we required as civil servants. To those that came on self-sponsorship, this is the biggest effort you can do for yourself. It's never too late to see yourself worthy of coming and advocating for what you believe in.
The National Heritage Conservation Commission on the Copperbelt Province says it will soon embark on improving infrastructure in most of the tourism sites in the region. National Heritage Conservation Commission officer in charge of tourism sites in the province, Richard Hangua, said this when he and other officers from the Ministry of Tourism visited Lake Kashiba in Pongwe district. Mr. Hangua also disclosed that the commission has since sourced for funds to build necessary infrastructure at Lake Kashiba. Agrippa Silumbwe has more in this report.
Located in the natural forest of Mpongwe on the Copperbelt province is a unique Lake Kashiba, which is just a few kilometers away from the central business district. Although not known to many, this natural resource has already started attracting foreign tourists who come to spend their leisure time with their families. No wonder a combined team of government officers from the National Heritage and Ministry of Tourism has toured this breathtaking sunken lake in order to see the possible ways of revamping it.
The lake here is sitting on 120 hectare piece of land. It's one of the sites that are being given out for possible development by the private sector. Anytime soon, we are putting in upmarket ablution facility. Also a borehole. Money has already been sourced and geophysical surveys were already done. By this time next year, be rest assured that you'll be coming to a very different site.
These are sites that have potential to attract more and more tourists. This alone can generate a lot of money for government and can create so many job opportunities for the local people around here.
The district administration says this is a long-awaited development.
We need infrastructure development in such attractive tourist attraction area. We need development like yesterday.
This natural asset can be an economic game changer if well developed. Reporting, I'm Agrippa Slumbo.
The Bemba Royal Establishment has officially installed Peter Chandwa as Senior Chief Nkula of the Bemba people of Chinsali in Muchinga Province. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo, graced the installation of Senior Chief Nkula and assured that the government will remain committed towards engaging traditional leaders in facilitating development in their chiefdoms. Mr. Nkombo says traditional leaders play a significant role in ensuring that there is transparency and accountability in the implementation of government projects. Henry Lumpa Jr. now reports.
In a ceremonial style, here at the Nkula Palace in readiness to be officially installed as Senior Chief Nkula of the Bemba people of Chinsali in Mchinga Province. The occasion, which attracted people from around different communities and sectors, saw Peter Chandwa being officially installed as Senior Chief Nkula, and it was graced by Local Government and Rural Development Minister Gary Nkombo, who reaffirmed government's commitment towards working with traditional leaders in accelerating development in their chiefdoms.
walked the talk of getting our citizens involved in the development agenda from the world level. So we have to work together to prove that assertion that the corruption fight is selective. We need living examples so that we can correct that, because we must live a fair and just society.
And the Bemba Royal establishment, who officially handed over the instruments of power to the newly installed chief, on behalf of Paramount Chief Chitimkulu, expressed confidence in the new senior chief.
Tatwabala tunfuapo akabinangukamo kanshi lero twafikire kuno abantu balela ndafye amashiwaya sumasana.
Meanwhile, Senior Chief Funkula XII, who spoke through his representative, assured government of a good relationship with him and further congratulated government on the great achievements so far.
Allow me also to thank government for taking a bold decision on devolution of power, which is not a small task.
The event was also attended by Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development Elias Mwanga, Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule, political representatives from both the ruling and the opposition party, among others. Henry Lumpa Jr., Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
Thank you, Henry, for that report, which brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, we take a look at the headlines once again. Zambia commemorates Remembrance Day. 800,000 United States edible oil plant commissioned. Plus Senior Chief Nkula installed. And that is all we have for you on Zanis News. Thank you for joining us. Pleasant viewing.